What's going on, y'all? It's another episode of Minding Your Biz. I'm one of your co-hosts, Dr. Black Wealth, and we got...
Hey, guys, it's your girl, Miss Fat Financial, checking in.
Yeah, y'all excuse the obvious. Voice a little...
Is it a little... You under the weather?
No, just been hollering with the kids. They field days and stuff, so...
Okay, hollering with the children.
You know. But anyway, y'all, listen, it's another great episode. We on our normal stuff. Welcome to the #1 show, all things wealth, finance, and business, and politics.
That's right.
We talk about everything. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that bell. If you need some advice or looking for some advice or financial advice, anything like that, just want to talk to us, want to say something, want to shout us out, email us at info@mindingyourbiz.com, info@mindingyourbiz.com.
That's right. We're here if you need us.
Right, and we'll do it live on the episode. Today, we're talking about target sales drop, Trump budget, the Met Gala, and Warren Buffett annual shareholders meeting. So let's get into it.
All right, guys. So we're talking about Berkshire Hathaway. The new successor has been announced.
Yeah, for sure.
Greg Abel for 2026. He will be at the top, leading us out during the 60th annual meeting. I think it was through the weekend, right? Friday, Saturday.
So
he announced he's age 95.
He is.
God bless him. That's 95 years old.
He'll be turning 95.
He'll be turning 95. Yeah. He had many good years with Berkshire Hathaway. I think he was a leader who always kind of gave his company great returns. He stayed true to who he is, didn't really tinker into politics or anything too controversial. Once in a while, you kind of knew where he stood. But at the end of the day, great businessman, brought in record profits over years. People kind of just look at him for a lot of financial advice on the market and how things are going. And he named Greg Abel as successor, who has been with the company for a good period of time.
How you grading it?
How am I grading it? So I'm giving it.
Is this a 2 grade thing?
It is definitely a 2 grade. Please forgive me. Okay, here we go. So I'm giving it an A. Okay. Right? I think it's hard sometimes for older people to let go. So I think he's letting go at a good time. He's still alive. He is still able to kind of peek in on his baby. But sometimes we let go too late. I mean, 95 is like right there. 95 is like right there, but I think it's time. You got to bring in the new guard. You got to, new energy, youth. So I'm giving it an A. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace
like
out. I don't know too much about Greg.
Yeah.
But we shall see. He's got to forge his own path.
He definitely do within guardrails. So, I mean, just to give a little my perspective on it, I typically watch the annual meetings every year, especially for the past 5 or so years. I watched this one for sure. I thought it was a great meeting. I knew that they were going to ask him about tariffs. I really wanted to hear his perspective on that in that regard. Warren Buffett is one of those people who, of course he's white, so that's just the obvious, right? So we don't have to. Really? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm saying that because most people be,
Irish, or it's like, no.
No, he's definitely, but the thing is he understands who he is, the time he was, right? He says all the time, like, if I wasn't a man born in the 30s at that time, like, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now,
he appreciates
right? Understands intellect of women around. His sisters were just as smart, but they didn't have the opportunities because of the time frame that they were living in, right? He's one of those people who stood with Dr. King, him and his wife, stuff like that. So I think overall intellect, philosophies, his investment thesis, all that stuff is really good. You gotta think about it though. For him to leave out at 94, he built a company that right now is, multi-billion-dollar investment firm with over $350 billion in cash that he holds right now. Yeah. And he only has 24 employees that he's had for the past 50, 60 years. 24. Wow. So everything is kind of spearheaded off his investment. Everybody's buying into how he sees business, right? So Greg Abel came in. He's from Canada. He's a Canadian. And Greg came in and ran his energy sector back in 2018, got his energy business side up. They get some flack, obviously, because you have those people who are, I don't know what they call, and I don't know disrespect, but the people who are, stop running stuff off gas or environmentalist type people, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody asked him a question that kind of I felt was very triggering in that way, but he answered with some due respect, working with regulators and states and government to make sure that they're doing things energy efficient.
I think he's always been an honest broker. I
think Greg or Warren?
Warren.
Yeah, for sure.
He knows.
He stays straight. The line is straight. He don't deviate, right? It's about the business.
And
it's
the
about
profits.
Yeah. Right. It's about how well the business is doing. Like, that's what it is. Like, most people in that money caliber, we're not too concerned between Republican, Democrat from that standpoint. He pays his,
Yeah,
so
he doesn't lean in too hard to one party that can cause a rift. He definitely
and he did it with some class. So the last hours he announced that Greg will take over. It was a total surprise to everybody there. He didn't have this conversation except to his kids who held it tight. And so Greg has ran the non-insurance side. If you know anything about Berkshire, he has the insurance side, which he runs through Geico, which is how he kind of tripled his wealth in that regard. And then he has the non-insurance side, which is everything that's not insurance. And so Greg has been able to kind of walk with the facilitators of those business, the operators, and understand the business and figure out how they can grow. And what I like about it is they buy businesses and allow the owners to still have their own autonomy, but be backed by Warren Buffett's money strategy to then grow their business for long term. And so now Greg will be the CEO come January, and Warren Buffett will remain chairman of the board for now. And given his business model, I don't know if I would say he stayed there too long, because his business model was heavily reliant on him. So, but it wasn't surprising given that, Charlie passed last year. So it was only a matter of time before he was, and he's been talking about success, and he's very aware. So I give the whole thing an A+ for sure. I loved the meeting. It was great. The interactions that was there. Me, just because we diving into the private equity space. Of course, I was looking for how many black people was in the room. Wasn't a lot. Wasn't a lot. Mm-hmm. I caught the CNBC interviews. You see the people in the back. I probably counted a good 5, 6, maybe 8.
You can probably talk about that. Like, why? Why is that? Maybe we were watching. Maybe they were watching like you.
I know a lot of them were. So maybe another 10. So, but anyway, I give it an A+. Not to I think the topic deserve it stand. If you're looking to get investing, if you're looking to understand business, I know for a fact, with me being in finance from a tax and CFO perspective, one of the greatest insights I've had to be able to advise clients has been reading and studying investors. And so it's been panning out. So anyway, A+. And we look forward to see what happens in the new year. We'll keep you guys posted. So what's next? We talking about the Met Gala.
Okay. Do we want to go to the Met or to the budget?
It's up to you. We go to the budget. Let's talk the budget.
Okay, let's talk about here we go. All right. Here we go, guys. The presidential budget
Trump
was given to Congress, right? So the president does a budget, like a summary, like this is what I want, this is the expectations, and Congress has to make it happen, right? And of course, then the president has to veto it or sign it, right? Depending on what is in that particular budget and how it's laid out. So it's for 2026. Yeah. So they have until September 30th, or we're going to start hearing those shutdowns. That stuff we hear every year. So they have more than enough time.
Tax bill is in there, all that.
Right, that big, beautiful bill, right?
Cut them taxes, my God.
So they got some time, but this is, think about today and then what the timeline is. So pretty much, right, he wants to cut more discretionary spending, right? Yeah. $1.8 trillion in discretionary spending. He wants to cut discretionary spending, of course, anything that's really outside of national security, anything that's not defense. So in there, he wants to do 23% cut in non-defense spending, which totals $163 billion, which includes health and human services, heat, cooling and air subsidies, biomedical research, low income subsidies, environmental agencies, the Department of Education, the grants for teachers that support preschool and development, the CDC, the Department of HUD, they want to cut that by 40%, Department of Labor, even some state programs and NASA. So those are just some of the defense agency cuts, right? Just some of those in there. And there was a little kerfluffle with the Republicans. They want an additional $150 billion more for military spending. And that'll be a 13% increase if they add the $150 billion. Now you're increasing the total budget by 13%. So we're not really cutting anything, right? Everything that's happening right now, we have not lowered the budget.
They leveled out. They dropped on this side, but raised on this side is kind of leveling out. They're really just kind of spending. Teeter-tottering.
Right. They're not really lowering it, right? Yeah. They're not saying, hey, we're going to cut from all sectors so we can get our stuff together. They're cutting discretionary spending, which is mostly for us as Americans, and increasing defense.
I know they're going to start. So what's the
grade?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
giving it a C. I'm giving it a C. I'm giving it a C because cuts need to happen. I don't like that Homeland Security and the military are having an increase, that they're getting the overflow. I think to militarize the United States and increase our military standing when we're supposed to be, no wars. We're supposed to be withdrawing from the global sector, right? Where that was the talk. So then, why are we increasing military here? And I know it's supposed to be for all the immigrants in the deportation of the thing, but I think we could be smarter with our money. I don't like how it's being dispensed. I got you. I'm a little biased in that regard. We haven't been served in the military, so I don't know. I think
it usually goes to military contracts because they're talking about cutting veterans. They're not talking about increasing pay. It's not for the people.
Yeah, but they're not going to touch the veteran stuff. I heard
that's what they say.
The Secretary Bennett talk about it yesterday.
But it goes for non-discretionary. The veterans benefits are not a part of the defense.
Yeah, but they're not touching them. He already said it. So
they said
veterans, don't worry about it. Still gonna get that check on the first. My guy and girl, boots and arms.
And maybe less.
I'm definitely giving it a B+. Only reason why I'm saying that is just because we just got to see how it's gonna go. I know they're gonna set forward for a vote coming up in the next few weeks in June. Actually, I got a conference where we should be meeting with some members of Congress to figure out how we, on the financial regulatory. I think that DOGE is. I think they have some impact. I mean, the financial secretary, Bennett, he talked about the waste that they found and been going on the non-defense side. I don't know how, I'm not in the inner workings of the government to know what's really going on. However, I am in favor of us knowing what's actually happening with the tax dollars that we're paying, because we should know it's our dollar. So what's happening with it? So whether on the defense side or non-defense side, we should be able to see. So if y'all got these little penny pockets and you paying this person for that, you know what I mean? That's what these people we put in power to do, is to cut that stuff out.
I do agree. I think that if we're going to cut it, everybody should lose the pork on Republican side and Democratic side. Cut it across the board. And if that includes the military, so be it, because they fail their audit every year. If we're going to clean it up, let's do it all. Let's not pick and choose. And the appropriations chair, Tom Cole, which is a Republican, said that we have a better understanding of what can pass and what can't. So respectfully, Mr. President, I don't see this bill passing according to his guidelines. That's what the appropriations chair said. That basically it's not going to happen.
Well, we'll be following this subject pretty close and seeing what happened with the bill. I mean, it's going to be an ongoing thing. Hopefully, they don't have no right.
And the Democrats said they're holding the line. They signed off on the spending bill for 2025. They said they're not going for. They're not going for it. And the Senate definitely needs Democratic votes. They don't have enough. They don't have 61% to overdo the filibuster. So they need Democrats on the Senate because it has to pass on both houses.
Democrats.
It has to pass on both houses.
Get out the way. Out of the way.
Moving right along. Okay.
Listen, if you're a business owner, LLC, S Corp, partnership, or C Corp, and you need to file your taxes, come to Eagle Financial Group where we can file your taxes. We specialize in business taxes to make sure we file and give you all the tax strategy savings that you need to put money back into your business. Click the link below, set an appointment, book a call, and our team will reach out to you. All right, y'all, listen, Target sales have dropped. The CEO is not fired, but has a reduced in pay 45%.
A+.
Because Target sales has been dropping. And so which I'm giving it an A+ too.
Way to go.
Black people, stand up. We ain't been in Target in months. And you know what's crazy? I really didn't realize it. You have people who stopped going there off rip from the start of it. On top of that, you got, I think, a big push from Jamal Bryant as far as the boycott affecting them economically. And we've recently seen it was people, big influencers doing recent videos going viral about their placement inside of Target and what that means and what they're doing. So people are really standing up. I'm very surprised, if I must say.
And it works. We talked about having all positions on the baseball field.
For sure.
You need political protests. You need financial protests.
There's definitely some black people going there, though.
I drive by Target for sure. But it's enough that they see a difference. They said almost like $12 billion a day.
Remember the last time we reported, they was trying to say fourth quarter drop. It was some other crazy stuff, but now we know for a fact because it's ongoing. This was a recent report last couple of weeks. So they declining by 1%. That's a lot. You may think that's $1 billion company,
and
Target Corporation.
We just have to be consistent. Again, the Selma bus boycotts took a year.
Yeah.
A year for people to have, to figure it out like, we're not going to do it by any means necessary, So I think we got to stick to our guns.
This
Money
is just
matters.
one of the things, though. I don't think this would be like a situation where it's like, we coming back. It's just leave them alone.
For sure.
Because at this time, you done found we haven't been in Target, we haven't been in Walmart.
I definitely been in Walmart and Target.
All the stuff we need, we done found. Costco, I ain't really feeling Costco.
Costco is my jam, though.
But Costco is my jam. They
gonna get it though, because Costco is the only. Costco is doubling down. Costco is doubling down.
But I still be in there. I ain't tripping too much.
Yeah.
But I try to limit how much I go in there. But for sure, I think you hold.
I just jumped right in. I didn't even grade it, so I'm giving it an A+. It shows how protests can work, y'all.
For sure.
Let's go.
All right, last thing on the list is the Met Gala that recently took place. You want to dive into that?
Come on, Met Gala.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is near and dear to
Vogue
my heart.
hosted.
Okay, some don't know that I'm Miss Fat Financial for a reason, and I interned at Condé Nast Magazine at W. Okay, and so
I have a fashion background.
Yes, and
fashion
that is. So this is like, my jam. So it's a love-hate in the fashion industry because a lot of black people are not represented, taken advantage of, and sometimes almost exploited, especially in high fashion, right? So for those who don't know, the Met Gala is a charity event that takes place the first day for Business Day in May. It is to raise money for the Costume Institute, which is inside of the Metropolitan Museum. It's the only part that doesn't get federal or any outside funding. It has to self-survive by raising money on its own. So the ticket sells $75,000 per person, minimum $350,000 per sponsored table, which could be Louis Vuitton, it could be Berkshire Hathaway, it could be anybody that's sponsoring a table for the charity. You invite your celebrities, they come out. But this year, it was something special. They chose to highlight black male dandyism, right? Which is a word coined in the early 1900s, how men dressed, right? It was a way to show that I'm not an animal. I have civility. The most notable that was photographed was Frederick Douglass. He was photographed, even though he was a slave. He said, I will not be seen as uncivilized. I am just like you. So he dressed, he was like the official dandy. Super fine tailorism, cut to the nines.
Clean.
You want to show out clean. The next generation was the
Fro
20s.
with the part.
Right? Through the Harlem Renaissance, them zoot suits, right? So it's tailoring. It's an expression of identity, who you are. The next person who came through was Dapper Dan that took high fashion and made it a part of the hip hop culture, right? How we dress, how we express ourselves.
Soul food too, because when they was exploring, it was like, it was more so as far as the fashion and the tailoring, like they taking scraps to like tailor to us uniquely, not using the big white brands.
For sure. You couldn't.
Right.
You couldn't. So
right.
you had to. You had to sew and stitch.
All your creativity.
It was all yours,
clothes.
and it was in vibrant colors. And it was a protest against a time when Black people were oppressed and not seen, and not being seen. So this year, the Met raised $31 million. It is a business, the highest amount raised, right? So that's why some people like feeling exploited. Is it exploitation or appreciation, right? Because the prior year was $26 million. The year before that was 17.
I mean, but it was I wouldn't use the word exploit. Because everybody, the same people who was at the Met this year was there all them other years, for the most part.
Definitely not.
They got
more Black people were invited. Andre 3000.
He's never been to the Met?
Never. Oprah. Wow. What's her name? Lauryn Hill. Gayle King.
Oh, really?
Diana Ross.
Oh, wow.
Tyler Perry. These people ain't never been to the Met yet.
Wow.
So it was Black on display
for sure.
to support Black people.
But I mean, that just shows that,
and of course,
we
you
support
also
each
had
other.
Non-celebrities that are curators in Black fashion, right? For sure. You had people who, I mean, Dapper Dan would never get an invite because he was, you know what I mean? Like, he would not get an invite.
I mean, it almost seemed, it's fitting, though, given that they were highlighting Black.
For sure. That's
so we showed up for us.
We showed up loud and proud and raised the most money. So I think we're always there. I feel like to save the day.
You think it was hurting?
In a time when our current politics is trying to erase us.
Well, yeah.
So, but when you go inside, they take you through a time warp of history in Black fashion, how it came out, the bustle, where certain things originated from. So I'm giving it an A. I love it.
And I think they're going to keep it up for a while. Like in the inside.
It's almost like almost a year. It's almost a year,
We're going to try to
through
catch
the end of the year. If you go to New York, check out the Met. It is to raise the thing. So I'm giving it an A. I don't feel like it's a small amount of exploitation, but I feel like that's how they do us anyway in culture and music. But I do feel like it's for us to be seen. Like, we could fight about that another day.
No, for sure. I'm gonna give it an A. I love the world. It's something I'm getting new to. My wife is definitely all in the arts. We be at the symphonies and all this other stuff. We're going to a fashion show in a couple weeks. Like, it's I'm not like, it's not like my world, but I'm not like opposed to it. But you would be a modern day
dandy. You would like a suit.
Listen, I do. That's what my wife said. She was like, "Why don't you?" I'd be like, I'm getting back into that dress mode. I kind of got out of it, but I definitely like it. I'm exploring it. I think it's epitome of wealth. I probably still wouldn't use the word exploit. I just, but I do get the sense, because it's their stuff, and we, you know what I'm saying. I think at this stage,
especially with high fashion.
For sure. I'm with you.
Vogue and high fashion.
I'm with you.
Are so anti-Black bodies 100%. And faces. So
what I'm saying is to give homage to our predecessors. I think that there was a time to say, okay, you ostracizing Black people out, but we're showing you that we are here. I think today we can move in a space where it's like, we move on our own, if you will, right? I ain't saying like recreate or do, but we have enough money and power and influence to where what you do won't hurt us. Like, we could just be. We could be the fashion, we could be the art institute, we could be the private, like we could just be and move in our own merit.
For sure. And all the co-hosts were Black men. Pharrell Williams, A$AP Rocky.
Because Pharrell got the relationship with Louis Vuitton. I mean, you can't dispute our influence
absolutely
on all these brands being popular all over the world.
Absolutely. Even
Black
the
Americans
African
specifically.
Taylorism and the influence us as a people for sure.
So,
but I
gotta put that Black American in there because people hate.
It was never acknowledged. It was always like these European houses.
For sure.
Curate this in the back of their heads.
And kudos to everybody in that world. I know Tiana she did her own situation, Taylor her own thing.
Ruthie
it was
McCarter,
really nice.
Who won 2 Grammys because she did Black Panther.
Yeah.
She did all the costuming for Black Panther. Grammy Award winner. She's amazing. Oscar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Grammy is music. Thank you.
So,
Thank you,
but like I said, I give it an A. I love it. I love the world. I think it's just the epitome of wealth and finding, that's what people go into the arts. That's just the next best thing. And I like
barriers.
it. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like it.
So, y'all, listen, it's a wrap, man. We talked about the Met Gala, Warren Buffett and the shareholders meeting, Trump budgets, Target sales dropping, keep dropping them sales. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell. Let us know what you like. Give us a comment. And if you are looking for that advice, business advice, financial advice, tax advice, email us at info@mindyourbiz.com and you'll see it somewhere on the screen. Yeah. And we'll talk with you next episode. Peace.